Welcome back, and today is day 4, so let's talk about what we did on day 3. So day 3 we were actually docked in Liverpool. We arrived around 11:30 the night before, so we had a night tied up at the dock. And the one thing I would say about Queen Mary 2, unlike other ships that we've been on, a lot of the time you hardly even know she's moving anyway. So being overnight at dock didn't really make much difference to us because there's so little movement anyway. We started the day by heading down to the Britannia restaurant for breakfast, and this morning, or yesterday morning, the food was served lovely and hot, which made a nice change from the day before where we had cold eggs Benedict. Yesterday they were nice and warm when they were delivered. Took a leisurely breakfast, took our time over that, and then decided to go for a stroll all around the top decks of the ship, or the ocean liner, because they were areas we hadn't seen before. And I'm glad we did, because later in the day it absolutely started tipping down and it got very wet and horrible up there. We started right at the very back of the ship. No, at the front of the ship, wasn't it? We went to the lookout. Yeah, so we went up to the lookout where you've got a view all the way around the front of the ship. That's where the second ship's bell is also located. Yes, this ship has 2 bells, both on the same stands. One's in the grand lobby, one is up by the lookout on deck 12. From there we proceeded right up the steps to the very top of the ship, where there's a nice non-slip flooring, a little bit cushioned, and you can walk all around the top there. All around the top of the front half and see all the views and everything that Liverpool had to offer. We popped along then to the sports centre, where you've got the shuffleboard, you've got the golf net, and you've got a normal court if you wanted to play badminton or tennis or something. And right in between those two is another area you can go up, and you are standing right behind the ship's funnel. And we went back there later in the day, and I'll show you that later. That was an experience. But noon on sea days, that raised area is the place to be. Apparently, and thanks to Cunard critic Alex on Twitter for this tip, that's where you want to be at noon on sea days, because they'll blow the ship's horn and you'll be there. We strolled around the top decks. Like I said, we found the ship's bell, had a look around Liverpool, had some great views of the Liver building and the 3 Graces. Kept strolling forward then, got our obligatory pictures of the Queen Mary 2 sign, before walking forward and finding the kennels. Now, the kennels aren't in use on this trip, they're only available for transatlantics. But we also saw the American fire hydrant and the lamp post to make dogs feel a bit more at home when they're in the middle of the sea. Then it was King's Court for lunch yesterday. We popped up to the buffet, just grabbed a few bits and pieces there and had that. We didn't want to go mad for lunch because we were booked into the Steakhouse at the Verandah for dinner. Wanted to pace ourselves and make sure that we had left plenty of room to enjoy that later. In the afternoon, Tracy went for a stroll off around Liverpool, and I'll include some of the pictures she took now. And then after that, it was time to get ready for dinner. So we got ready for dinner and strolled on up to the Steakhouse. Now, to say that the Steakhouse was lovely is an understatement. Watch out, and we'll put a separate post up about it. But boy, we certainly enjoyed it, and the bread that they serve you before your meal is absolutely gorgeous. It was hard to turn down a second helping of it when it was offered. Then it was a busy evening after that. We had a slow waddle, because we were full up from the Steakhouse, down to the theatre, where we had the 4Ds musical extravaganza last night. The 4Ds are a singing quartet. They did a lot of music from the doo-wop era. Things like, what do we have? We had some Frankie Valli, we had some Del Shannon, a lot of songs that you'd probably recognise from that era. We also, their finishing number was a piece from Les Mis, which was really moving. Those guys were amazing. So after the theatre, we had been told at the sail away, one of the staff told us that we had to be looking out for the departure from Liverpool, because there was going to be quite some send-off and there'll be fireworks and everything. And we had that confirmed at the end of the theatre show. The entertainment director, Neil, told us that there would be a firework display at 10:30, weather permitting. And as it had been absolutely hammering down whilst we were in the Steakhouse, we weren't sure if it was going to go ahead or not. It was touch and go, but it did go ahead. We had fireworks sending us off, followed by the ship waking up Liverpool at about 10:30 at night. And this is what that sounded like. So after getting really cold up there on the open deck for about 20 minutes, half an hour, waiting for the fireworks, after making sure we got a fairly decent space, we wanted to be right behind the ship's funnel to catch those horns going, and I'm glad we did. It was certainly an experience. It was time to head back in, and we were so cold it was time to call it a night and just head to bed. So that was Day 3 on board Queen Mary II's Coronation Celebration cruise, which was a port day in Liverpool.